It's time for the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. That's exactly what this is. Coming up in just a minute, we'll be talking with Blake Sloan. Hang on for that. But in the meantime, I want to give you some contact information. The show hasn't really even started yet, but I know when it starts out, you're going to have questions about what Blake has to tell you. And when you do, don't hesitate. Just give him a call or go onto the website. Phone number at Sloan Realty Group, if you want to talk to Blake Sloan, is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or the website, as I mentioned, is BlakeSloan.com. BlakeSloan.com. Really simple to get to. We'll repeat that contact information several times over the next 30 minutes. If you didn't get it this time, make sure you get it next time. Right now, it's time for Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Got an awesome brand new show. Lots of great stuff to go through today. My team's been hustling like crazy. It's always been one of the busiest weeks of the year. With the holiday last week there. And so we've been burning at both ends for sure, and all kind of people in town. So we'll talk about that, what's going on over there. It's been crazy for sure. We'll dig into the brand new market numbers from last month of June, which was interesting because obviously it's a huge jump from once everyone gets out of school. And so we'll kind of have those. They're still trickling in with the final numbers here next few days, but we got a pretty good idea of where everything's out there real time. So we'll go through that with everyone. As well as some brand new, awesome success stories we'll talk about. I'm super proud of them. Some really cool stuff we've been doing, people, client-wise. Also, some people that you all have referred to us who listen to the show, which is super, super cool in that regard. Some huge news about our team that we mentioned last week's show. Anyone that missed that, we'll talk about that. Some another big national accomplishment that we got that was released last week. So super excited about that. And also get to the things that we didn't get to last week. They're super powerful. The top 5 home trends that buyers looking for right now, and also we'll talk about the cost of home projects, what we're seeing here in Myrtle Beach. And so it's kind of cool to see kind of what things are costing. For example, a bathroom remodel, install a roof, exterior painting, pressure washing, things like that. And so we'll talk about that and have awesome little, I guess, info for everyone who's thinking about potentially selling or just want to fix up the house a little bit as well.
All right, sounds good. If you're just tuning in, who you're listening to is Blake Sloan. He's been called the Real Estate Whiz Kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, also Realtor magazine, other national publications as well. You've seen him on TV, on NBC with the morning show, also on Fox and Friends morning show as well. The endorsements on this very radio station, Glenn Beck, Sean Hannity, for endorsements from Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox, and more. Put those all together, it's definitely unprecedented in the world of real estate, especially here in the Myrtle Beach area. Now, also, Blake has some trademark systems that he helps his buyers and sellers with, and you can't give away all the secrets right here on the radio, but you can boil it down to one most important point. And Blake, what is that important?
Hands down, the single most important variable that determines your failure or success in selling your home comes down to one thing only, period. That's the agent you choose. Hands down. I see it over and over again. It's something I made a promise to talk about on the show every single week. If there's one thing I get across, it will be that right there. The one thing that determines your success or failure, hands down, comes down to the agent you choose, period. Both on the buy side as well as the seller side, because in selling a house on the listing side, so if you're a seller, want to sell your house, there's 100 plus variables, actually 118 variables to be exact, to get your home sold. So if each one's handled correctly, guess what? That puts money in your pocket and property gets sold. If anything's handled incorrectly, aka that ball gets dropped. For example, if someone, let's say they don't answer the phone when someone calls in, they don't return a buyer inquiry, the pictures don't look good, all these things that need to be done correctly. If any of those are done incorrectly, guess what? That costs you money. You basically stop in that track there. And obviously, this is a huge asset. We're not selling Best Buy TVs. We're selling your largest asset. And so the reality is the agent and how they handle those variables is what determines your success or failure. And so what we did is we identify those variables. Most agents have no clue what they are. They're just trying to basically figure it out and wing it as they go to try to keep up. And so it's called the guaranteed sold system. And what we did is basically reverse engineer every single one to create maximum leverage every single point. So it's almost like stacking the dominoes. At the end, there's a big gap between us and everyone else. We always say it's just like when someone runs a marathon, right? Everyone takes off at the same time, but ultimately at the end, there's a big gap between us and everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
So my team and I, a few of us ran an 8K on July 4th this past week. Not a huge marathon, obviously.
Well, still, 8K is not bad.
And so same exact thing happened, right? We all took off, finished pretty quick, and I even finished a lot further ahead than some people on my team. And we wait and wait and wait. It's the same thing you see in your home sale, right? All those small incremental differences is what really sets you apart. And so that's why you see a lot of homes that are listed for 6, 8, 12, 18 months and not sold. And they wonder why. A lot of times there's things that are happening that you may or may not know about. And so it's important to understand, in regards to having somebody who does understand that and also has a proven repeatable system in place. That's what we do. It's called the Guaranteed Sold System. It's the only proven system to sell homes twice as fast and for up to 21% more money than traditional methods. I designed it. We license other agents across the country. It's very, very, very powerful. Works very well. Okay, it's proven repeatable. That's what allows us to turn knobs, adjust, and invest a massive amount of money to get things sold because we know what works and what doesn't work, and we can control the variables. It's business kind of 101. The problem in our industry is you have one agent who's trying to juggle all the balls, right? They're like the person at McDonald's trying to do the front register, the drive-through, and the fries at the same time. And they wonder at the end, why the food doesn't taste good. It's the same thing you experience in the real estate industry. You have one agent juggling all his balls, and they wonder why no one gets called back or why the buyer who calls in can't even look at the house because no one's answering the phone for them. And so that's the reality. The same thing on the buyer side, different variables, 100 plus variables. It's called our unfair advantage home buying system. We did the same exact thing there. We identified all those, put them in a system, put them in order, and we stack the dominoes, right? We create basically momentum by giving our client the ultimate competitive advantage on both sides. And so for the buyer side, it's called the unfair advantage home buying system. Only proven system to get you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers. Most importantly, the absolute best negotiation, right? Be able to use data and understanding the numbers to give you leverage when negotiating, both in the purchase price and also in the home inspection, right? Because you got to negotiate that for your client. There's a ton of things that has to be done right. And each one of those matters, each one of those opportunity that can be won or lost for that client. And so ours, both of those, both the buyer and the seller side, give our client the ultimate competitive advantage. So anyone out there is listening, it matters who you use, right? You should not be thinking that everyone's the same, couldn't be further from the truth. It's just like any doctor, lawyer, right? If you're charged with a crime you did not commit, you don't want just any lawyer. You want the absolute best lawyer who's going to help defend you and look at those minor details. The same exact thing we do, and the same exact thing that our systems do to help you all, get the ultimate competitive advantage when you buy or sell. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well.
All right, a lot of good stuff coming your way. Make sure and stay right where you're at for the rest of this show. We've got a long way to go. If you'd like to get in touch with Blake, you can. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. That's his phone number. It's Sloan Realty Group, Sloan Realty Group. And also, you can go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Coming up in just a second, we'll get an update on what the real estate market is looking like and also mortgage rates. What are they looking like this week as well? It's all part of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. That's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. Now, that's why on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. If you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at blakesguarantee.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
The Expert Advantage Real Estate Show every weekend here with Blake Sloan. The best information you can get as far as real estate in the Grand Strand market. Coming up in just a minute, we'll find out what the mortgage rates are looking like right now. Find out what the real estate market is looking like in our area. Blake, what are you seeing?
All right, so the new numbers obviously have a real-time tool that kind of tracks where we're at this month versus last month. And so we always talk about, usually it takes about the 10th of the month to get the full numbers in, because the reality is agents are slack sometimes and don't put their sales in. And so right now, if you look at closed sales for single family resale homes, which is pretty much everyone listening, right, which is what the majority of home sales are, and also helps us get the most accurate kind of gauge Right now, for last month, single family homes for resales, sales are down 4.1% from the same previous month there. But if you look at the 12 months rolling average, which is good, it's up 7% overall. But for example, just last month alone, there's still 533 home sales. Now, what's driving that obviously is supply. Supply is down. Look at supply last month. It was down 16.1% compared to the same month previous. And so that's one thing that you're looking at there. The average basically inventory right now is at 5.2 months. You've heard us talk about this in the past. Anything below 6 months is a seller's market. And so we're seeing that creep down. If y'all been listening for the past few months, it's like 5.6, 5.5. Now we're down to 5.2, which is extremely low, especially for here. And so the reality is we want to make sure that you're taking advantage of that as a home seller, because the key number, here's what the key number is. Prices jumped up 4.3% just last month alone, which is great news, obviously. And overall, the last 12-month rolling average is up 6.3%. And so great news over there overall. Right now, the median price is at $232,500, which is awesome numbers for resale. If you guys remember a while back there, it was like 185. If you look at March 2017, it was 190,000. So great news to see that 232,500. Everyone's regained some equity. There's a lot more people that have equity than even realize from that standpoint, which is good news for sure. If you look at new construction, it's interesting to see kind of closed sales. There was only 216 sales last month, down 25%, which is interesting to kind of see there. Where reality also at the same time, inventory is up 3.8%. And so I think that's some interesting numbers. We'll see those numbers come in. The reason you see that happen a lot of times is a lot of the new home companies or real estate companies that are on site there will just enter a lot of the sales at one time there. Hopefully we'll see that kind of come in. Prices though up 8.1% last month, which is great news at 264,945. If you look at January of 2017, just a random month here, the median price was 214,000. So now we're all the way up 264, which is awesome there to kind of see. Even if you look, into basically, let's see, January this year was looking at 238, and now we're up to 264. So great news overall with that, for sure. Into condos, obviously that's kind of where everybody is seeing there as well. They've been pretty hot the past few months with that. They actually declined a little bit last month, 12.6%. Decrease in sales. Now you will see this creep back up a little bit. We'll probably find almost all these will get back to zero or very, very close as we get to about 10th, 11th of the month. Great news though for condos. Resale condos up 7.3% last month for prices. So obviously on average you've had a $100,000 condo. Now it's worth $107,000. So great month-over-month numbers. Anytime you're getting close to the double digits, that makes a big deal there as well. One of the craziest things we've seen, this inventory is still way down in condos. Down 23% for condos. Right now, at 4.7 months of inventory. That's the same way we were pretty much a few weeks ago. But anything below 5 months is just crazy low. And so we'll see prices continue to rise because we all know it's supply and demand driven, right? Especially it's very, I guess you say, depending on certain pockets now where you're at. If it's a condo on the ocean versus a condo or townhouse further off the ocean, it's different numbers there you'll see there. But we're very good that we're very well dialed into that. But the bottom line is, if you're a home seller, you want to take advantage of this rush. Like I said, our team has been crazy busy in regards to trying to keep up since everyone's gotten out of school coming in town. We've been running, like I said, burning the candle at both ends this past few weeks, especially this past week. And so you want to take advantage of when everyone's in town. Don't sit back and wait. Don't wait until the end of September or end of August when everyone's going back to school and back up north and they've already bought something, right? Take advantage of it now while inventory is still low, rates are still low, and obviously we're a seasonal market. Everyone knows Myrtle Beach is seasonal. And you want to take advantage of that because people aren't just here vacationing. They're here buying at the same time. They combine their vacation with their purchase, whether it be a second home, whether it be a relocation. You see that happen all the time there as well. And so anyone out there thinking about selling, definitely reach out to us as well, because it's an amazing time. This is something that, June, July, and August are by far historically the best months for sales and pretty much anything down here, but especially in real estate, which is great news for sure. If you want, I will kind of get into interest rates. If you want, Dave, for right here, 30-year fixed rate right now is 4.69%. If you remember last week's show, it was 4.66%. So not a whole lot of movement. Overall, obviously, the rates have been kind of in a holding pattern this past week due to a lot of the kind of uncertainty from the tariffs. And there's a big, right now the tariff battles been going on. So it's helping rates stay pretty steady in that regard, which is good. A 15-year fixed rate Right now it's 4.15%, which is still a great number there. 30-year FHA loan, 4.39%. A jumbo loan, right? Anything 417,000 and above at 4.65%. And a 5-year adjust rate mortgage right now is at 4.0%. And so that's stayed pretty steady here recently in that regard. It's still creeping towards some of the highs we've seen it at 4.02. But great news. Kind of rates were going sideways this week just a little bit. They went slightly higher towards the end of the week, but nothing really that's that big of a deal. Things have been holding tight. But the one thing we want to watch here is see what happens towards the end of the year. Everyone's saying it's going to be in the low fives by the end of the year, first of next year. And so that's something that we will see probably take a little bit of a hit from buyers making a move, because cost of money is more, and obviously they're going to be more likely to stay where they're at because the buying power is less. And in some cases, they don't qualify for as much. And so guess what? They seem to stay there. And so that's something to think about. Anyone out there, don't wait. Don't call me, 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now. Even if you're not sure what to do, reach out. Like I said, we're not here to push anybody. We kind of just advise you, hey, look, now's a good time. Now's not a good time. We tell everyone based on their situation, usually what's best for them. So reach out to me, 843-808-SOLD, or you can always go to blakesloan.com as well. Remember, we're Sloan Realty Group. There's another Sloan Realty that's not us. Make sure you go to Sloan Realty Group, or just go to blakesloan.com. We can easily help you out and get you instant valuation of your home online as well.
All right, sounds good. A lot of great information already, but a lot more to come as the rest of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show continues here along with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a minute, have your hot buyers alert and some awesome, amazing success stories of some of the people that Blake and his team have been working with here along the Grand Strand. You want to hear more? Keep listening. Or if you want to talk more, you can. Call Blake at his office. As he mentioned, Sloan Realty Group, the name of the office. You can call him at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. Do you want your home sold on time and for the most money without all sorts of excuses? Hi, it's Glenn Beck, and when I had to sell my home, I went through several agents who all had good ideas, but the bottom line is they couldn't get the job done. Well, you have a celebrity in your own town. If I lived in Myrtle Beach, no question, I would call Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Blake has a marketing system that reaches buyers from around the U.S. and around the world, and week after week, he attracts hundreds of buyers, and that creates incredible demand. And that's why he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you'll agree to, or he's going to buy it. Plus, you don't really risk anything when you list with Blake, since if he doesn't live up to the contract, you walk away free and clear. It's really no wonder why Sean Hannity and I, along with real estate tycoon and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran, endorse Blake. Call Blake Sloan right now, 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or visit Blake's website. That's blakesguarantee.com. blakesguarantee.com. Or listen to Blake's Real Estate Show every Saturday morning at 9 or Sunday morning at 11:30 right here on WRNN. Coming up in just a second, some great success stories between Blake and his team and how they've helped out so many people here along the Grand Strand. Right now, though, time for your hot buyers alert. Blake and his team are working with just a huge amount of home buyers. They're all looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area, and they're all in the range between, say, $150,000 to $3.5 million. If you're in that range, even thinking about selling, you need to call Blake because he needs the inventory and he needs it now. So call Blake at his office at the Sloan Realty Group, 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. And as a matter of fact, we have a number. We are almost over another plateau of people who are along in the entire world looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. Almost at 48,000, just under 48,000 active home buyers who are looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. And these are people who are looking on a regular basis, not just once a week.
Crazy. That's like what it's almost unfathomable to watch this number. Anybody that's been listening for a while, you just watch it creep up and creep up and creep up, because I made a promise a long time ago to my team. Even I think I talked about on here, is that I'm not pulling my foot off the pedal, period, right? We are a marketing machine. That's what I do. I'm a marketer in the real estate business. That's what makes us so good at getting homes sold, because the reality is, here's the deal. I can't sell your house based on the cabinets and the countertops. What I do, though, is I'm very good at driving traffic. The more traffic I drive of qualified buyers who can get to your home and see your home, the chances are obviously is higher that they're going to pull the trigger and buy something, right? And so that's what I'm very, very good at, is driving massive traffic in that regards, because what I've learned in showing thousands of houses over the years is that I can't make a buyer like it, right? They know in 2 seconds if they like it or not. And they'll know in 2 seconds. They can look at each other, tell each other in that regard. And so my job is to find the qualified buyers, bring them there, and matching up to buyer and seller. And so what gives a huge advantage is our business model, right? And so the old school way is that you have one single agent who would just juggle the balls. And like I talked about earlier, they're working with buyers, they're trying to work with sellers, they're running around, showing homes. They're also trying to do the marketing if they do any. Most of them don't do any. They're trying to do administrative work. They're trying to do their closing stuff. They're all these things that you have one person doing, like I mentioned earlier, is just like having the same person, at McDonald's at the front register drafting their fries at the same time. It goes back to the same thing. I heard another analogy recently is like, that's like going on an airplane flight. You have this guy or girl, let's say that the guy, because I'm a guy, checks your ticket, right? Checks you in, puts your bag on the thing. They take your ticket, and you go through TSA. They go upstairs. You see them at the little counter. They take your ticket, right? They take you in, help you put your bags in, sit down, and they get in the plane to fly the plane. You probably wouldn't feel real safe with that, but yet people do the same exact thing with their largest asset. And so the reality is there's a lot of things to be done in getting a home. So like we talked about earlier, 118 different variables for one single house. And so what we do is we have a team model, whole different business model. What it does, you have a team of specialists, not a certain generalists. So you have generalists who just try to do everything, right? They're trying to spray the shotgun spray and just hope they hit something. Ultimately, when you have a team of specialists, right, we always say this all the time, we have a sniper-like target. And so we have people in our team who they have specific targets they hit that I measure, and I'm ruthless in making sure that they hit. But the reality is we have a team of specialists who are focused on very specific targets to help get it sold. And so, for example, we have, and now we're almost up to 13 or 14 buyer experts just in the team. All they do all day, every day is just pretty much help serve buyers, right? And their job is to match them up with sellers that we have. And so my huge advantage here, without wasting too much time, is that I can afford to spend more money to acquire clients, period. Because the model works very well where worst case scenario, we'll take one of these buyers and sell them something else in MLS or a different company. Best case scenario, we match them up to one of your properties as a home seller and obviously help serve them. And all we can do is share that, right? We can't make anybody buy anything. We just serve them to the highest level we possibly can. But by the way, we're able to match up buyers and sellers. And also we have technology that we've helped develop that helps take anything anyone searched and looked at and reverse engineers the most likely buyer for every single listing. And so we have huge advantages here that give our clients, again, the competitive advantages. So the reality is, like Dave talked about, we're almost at what, 48,000?
Yeah, just under 48,000.
And so I was building all that to say this. These are real people, like username, passwords, accounts. Like this is not just hits. And so this is impossible. Where if I was a single agent by myself with 48,000 buyers, I'd be out of business because you cannot keep up with that. You could not sustain continuing that type of marketing money. But for a team model like we have, right, we're able to drive massive traffic for our sellers. And that's how we sell properties. Pretty much our numbers here are almost 3 times as fast and for much more money than the average because we're paid to match up buyers and sellers. We're very good at. And so, like, for example, right now, Gary Ordenoff from Drexel, PA, he's on the site. He's been to the site 132 times, looked at 454 properties. So these are real people from all over, the most of which are up north. Why? Because that's where the money's at. That's one thing I noticed very early on. We target them online very highly because we can track based on what their IP address is, geographic location. And so we're very, very good at that. We're very good at technology aspect. That's what sets us apart. That's what makes us a lot different. In the old days, I was literally persecuted by a lot of old school agents, still am in a way, because they can't figure out what in the world we do. We looked at what people did outside of real estate and other industries, and we brought it to real estate. And so that's one thing that helps sets us apart in that regard. Justin Leach right now, he's from Utica, Michigan. On the site, 319 visits, looked at 1,602 properties. Scott Fisher, Roanoke, Virginia, 51 visits, 128 properties he's looked at. And Alan Tong right here in Myrtle Beach, maybe listen to the show, 945 visits. So Alan's been looking at a lot of properties here. And so a lot of times we'll see people buy multiple properties with us. And bottom line, what's that mean? If you're thinking about selling, reach out to us. We have massive amount of buyers. A lot of times we're able to match up buyer and seller instantly, literally within the same day. And so that's something that we're very, very good at. We have a program also. We have an instant buyout. And one thing too I forgot to mention is, looking to get into development too, have a large pool of investors that we're looking to buy some land, some opportunities, and develop with. So if anybody out there, let us know, because we're looking to kind of get to that next level. We're also preparing for what the future is going to be, which I feel is help people just have instant buyouts. And so that's something we're also offering there as well. But reality, that is what we're getting to say is that if you're thinking about selling, don't just go with some agent that puts an MLS and lets it sit there and hope someone else sells it. Reach out to us. We have almost 48,000 buyers who are active, real people, and we have the technology to match them up for buyers and sellers. So now we're on that, few success stories really quick.
Sure.
This is super cool. I'm always proud of these. My best part of the show. There's so many of them like that. We're trying to pick the most relevant ones. But this past week, Bob and Shirley had their house listed in Myrtle's Inlet with another agent. 6 months, 0 success. They need a home ASAP because they had already bought another home in the area and were stuck paying 2 homes. They reached out to us. Here's the cool part again. They're referred to us by an awesome radio listener We quickly identified the problem. It was marketing, obviously. Implement our global marketing blitz, professional photos, drove massive traffic, put their home under contract in a couple weeks at full asking price. And so this is again and again from the same property that someone else couldn't sell. Ron and Mary, houseless in Loris, bidding around for a number of years. They didn't want to be a landlord because they moved away. They didn't want to be landlords from a distance. They referred to us by an awesome radio listener. Implement our global marketing blitz, professional photos, had it under contract within 1 day over asking price. And so these are obviously top two. Another cool shout out to Steve, who is a listener of the show, is a past client of ours. We sold multiple high-end properties for Steve, and his family is super, super sharp, amazing guy, former CEO for a huge company, and just sold his $500,000 condo on the ocean in Pawleys Island in record time. And so we have a massive amount of high-end buyers out there as well for anyone that's thinking about that. Big congratulations also to Stu and Willa. Cool story. We sold Thomas his property within a matter of days, very, very high price. He referred their relative Stu and Willa to us. Their property in Carolina Forest, we drove massive traffic, multiple offers, got it under contract at full asking price, which is super cool there. One of the highest prices in the entire neighborhood as well. So anyone thinking about selling, this is just a few. I got 2 more pages here, which Dave can see, but you're giving me the look. How much time we got left?
Yeah, just over 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes. Here's a cool thing. Let's talk about the top 5 things really quick that are appealing to buyers this summer. We're hearing this a lot. Here's one thing that came out right now. Number 1, hardwood floors rule. We're seeing that too. Everyone does that. We have really good contractors too that can put those in for very, very cheap, which is awesome. Buyers are preferring wood underfoot. 80% of the buyers of any age are telling the National Association of Realtors they want hardwood floors right now. So that's super hot, interesting, right?
Yeah.
They want an updated backsplash, and a lot of times you're seeing the pattern tile, certain graphic cement tile, things like that. You're seeing that in a lot of magazines. That's one thing that buyers really want right now. They're talking about embracing a new neutral. I'm not crazy about this part, but it says while beige and white, are all the classics, new neutrals are trending. Opt for softer grays, and they call this new one grayish, which is brown and gray at the same time. We have a really cool gray I did in my house. It's from it's this restoration hardware company, and it looks really cool. I wasn't trusting of it, but it ended up looking great. 4, create an accent wall, right? New textures and kind of separate rays. You have to do that right, though. Make sure you have someone who's helping you stage from that standpoint. And open spaces, that's huge. Everyone right now is looking for the open floor plan. Even if your rooms are kind of enclosed, different mirrors, natural light can help you do that, which is pretty cool as well. And the one thing I'll cover next week too is the cost of those fix-ups here. The easiest one I just did too on my house. Every house I recommend pressure wash.
Yeah.
Pressure wash is super cheap. Hands down, the #1 ROI I've ever seen ever in that regard. But if you're curious about what to do and what you should do, reach out to me. A lot of times people think they need more than they do, and we can easily help that with a few fixes or just some basic touch-ups for sure.
Plus, on a hot day, if you go outside and pressure wash, you get very wet doing that, and it cools you off, so it's not a bad thing.
Exactly right.
All right, that's some great tips and some great ideas. If you want to find out more, obviously, just go ahead and talk to Blake. Give him a call at Sloan Realty Group at 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com. If you missed anything today, you can recap it there, or just talk to Blake and do it that way. Blake, sounds good. We'll see you again next week.
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
All right, thanks for tuning in. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Hey, Myrtle Beach, it's Gary LaVox, lead singer of Rascal Flatts. When I'm Moving On won the award for ACM Song of the Year, it struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that an agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group